Welcome back to Chartered Adventuring. My name is Patrick. I am the Royal Historian of Oz. I'm here with Tom, Jamie, and Ian. In that order on my screen anyway. It might be different on yours. We're doing a slightly different game today. This is a different one-shot campaign where it's an Elsewhere in Oz storyline. The storyline in this episode takes place somewhere else in Oz with different characters. Everybody's going to be playing a different character than what they would normally play today. We're doing this because not all of our team was available to play today, so we have a slightly different story available. Before we get started, I want to briefly mention that if you are seeing the maps behind me and on our screen, they were used with permission from the International Wizard of Oz Club. If you'd like to buy your own beautiful maps, I got these from the club myself. They're great. Framed them, put them up. They're very useful for the game. You can follow along with our storyline, see where we are on the map and where people come from and go to. It's fun to follow along with it. You can go to ozclub.org to buy it, and we'll put a link in the description below. So welcome, everyone. I'm glad to have you here. I hope you're excited for a one-shot, a completely different game taking place in a completely different area of Oz.
Yay!
So what we will do is do a quick rundown of the storyline, and then we'll have everybody describe who their character is. You can point out on the map if you want. I'll hold it up, and we can all talk about where in the town you come from. And then we'll kind of know where everybody is. So are we ready to start? Anybody have any comments they want to make first? No?
I'm tasty.
Everybody's going to be tasty in this game, as we'll find out in just a moment. So for the introduction, our story takes place in the southern country of Oz called the Quadling Country. Down here, the red one on the bottom, and on your map you can see below. A wild and hilly region largely tinted by the color red. Pink trees, red grass, red stones, red trees. Everything is a varying shade of red or pink. The most famous resident of the Quadling Country is the good witch Glinda, far to the south at the bottom of the map, in her magnificent castle near the Great Sandy Waste Desert. Our adventure begins farther in the north, below the Emerald City, in a small hidden town in a tucked-away forest. Far off the beaten path, surrounded by billowing pink and red trees, is the small town of Bunbury. A town of fresh-baked infrastructure and people with the mouth-watering smell of baking bread in the air. The ground is made of flour and meal, and the houses are the queerest little buildings. They are all made of crackers, laid out in tiny squares and of many pretty and ornamental shapes, having balconies and porches with posts of breadsticks and roofs shingled with wafer crackers. There are walks of bread crusts leading from house to house and forming streets. And on the opposite side of town from the residential districts is the butter mine and the esteemed Bunn family's mansion on top of a hill. Sprinkled throughout the town and park are oleander trees and doedera bushes, currently in season and giving out donuts. Currently, there's an election happening in town between the incumbent current mayor, C. Bunn Esquire, and newcomer, Orange Cinnamon Roll Tango Creme. You are members of the Bunbury Breakfast Band. You stopped to listen to Tango give a short campaign speech before heading to the outskirts of town to practice your band instruments with the band leader, Mrs. Popover. So why don't you go ahead and introduce each of your characters. Jamie, would you please go first?
I am Phylla Pavlo. I am this lovely little buttery croissant, and I'm almost always wear this perfect little meringue on my for a hat.
That's adorable.
Very cute.
And you're fresh baked, right?
Oh, of course.
Of course. Ian?
I am Vance Longo. I am a sourdough long bread. I look like I have been out in the sun for a lot. I do have cracks, and inside those cracks looks like parts of jam.
Jam?
Yes.
On sourdough?
Like sour and sweet.
And my favorite types of farming tools that I usually use is my sickle and my scythe. And then my favorite instrument is my tenor jam, which is a tenor saxophone.
All right. And they're all made out of bread items, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Bread or pizza?
What was that?
Bread and pizza.
Bread and pizza. Okay. Tom, what's your character?
I am the local famous muffin man known as Topper. That's right. I've done all sorts of intrepid good deeds, and most of them can be actually true, maybe.
What do you look like?
I am a chocolate muffin.
Ah, it's adorable. Okay. Chocolate muffin, do you have an instrument that you like to play?
I do. I have my own little pretzel stick piccolo. Or a fife, actually.
Okay, great. So all of you have lived in town for several years. Bread, items, and people stay fresh longer in this town due to magic, because it is Oz. So all of you are currently gathered in the center of town near the town hall. You've got your instruments with you, and you're with a crowd of other citizens in town. You've got wheat, you got soda, you got cookies. You've got everybody in town is gathered around and listen to Tango Creme give his speech and on his run for mayor. You're doing this on the way out to the outskirts of town, which lies in the northeastern side of town, where you can practice without bothering people. Plus, you're probably going to be playing for the inauguration for whoever wins, so it's good to practice. So here's what you see as you stand at the back of the crowd near the street that leads out of town. On a large loaf of rounded bread stands a crusty old orange cinnamon roll with tiny stubby little cinnamon stick legs and short little cinnamon stick arms waving furiously in the air as he gives his speech. Foreigners, wild beasts, dangerous meat people, they're coming to eat you. We need to build a massive waffle fence around town and keep the foreigner meat people out. Vote for me and I'll authorize the creation of donut Dobermen to attack strangers on sight. And on and on and on and on. And he's trying to whip the crowd into a frenzy, which generally is probably doing really good. He's fear-mongering everybody. You guys do have a band performance to attend. You can stay and listen to him more. But before you do, I'd like each of you to make a perception roll, please.
He said meat people.
He said meat people, yes. None of you have seen a meat person before. You've only ever lived in Bunbury your entire life, and you've only ever seen baked breads and goods around you.
Oh, no.
Oof.
What'd you guys get?
I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. You were completely taken in with this speech. You are completely enraptured with the idea of a meat person. What? A meat person? What the heck is that? You've never heard of it before, basically.
I got a 13.
You got a 13? Okay. And Ian?
22.
22. Okay.
Oh my god, am I the Ian of this one shot?
Somebody's got to do the one. Sorry. Tom.
Hey, remember, Tom, it's the unimportant things that I get the high rolls on. So don't worry, this is not important yet that we know of.
So, Ian and Jamie, your characters look off to the right, and at the edge of the crowd, you see a little Crumpet kid picking up a big, heavy flour brick, and it looks like he's getting ready to wing it at Tango. You have the option to stop him, or talk to him, or let him throw it.
I'm going to run over there.
Okay. So you run. Are you going to run over and draw attention, or do it quietly?
I'm going to draw attention.
Okay.
I'm going to be following behind. I am not going to be trying to draw attention. I'm like speed walking. I'm like, hi, kid.
Okay. He's sitting there, and you find him, and he's testing this big brick in his hand like he's getting ready to throw it. And you see a little mischievous smile on his Crumpet face. What are you going to say?
Stop! Don't!
Don't? He goes, why not? That guy's a creep. And he holds his hand back and gets ready to throw it.
I don't disagree with you at all. However, this is not the way to go about it, okay? This is what's going to get you in trouble. And we don't want to have to deal with that.
Make a persuasion roll, please.
Kids always listen to reason.
My charisma sucks.
It's okay.
At least yours isn't a 6.
Well, at the very least.
13 again.
A 13? Okay. He hesitates. He looks at you and he says, I don't think we should be listening to this, though. Somebody's got to teach that guy a lesson.
I'm going to try to get a hold of the brick.
Go ahead and roll your strength. Yeah. Do better than
That's more like it.
What'd you get?
10.
You got a 10? Oh, you try to reach that brick and he yanks it out of your hands and he says, I'm going to throw it anyway. And he chucks it right at Tango.
No!
Please tell me the kid's got terrible dexterity and he missed.
I got a 17, so yeah, it's going to... That brick goes flying right over the crowd and smacks right into Tango Creme's fat face. It bounces off and knocks him straight down off his little bread mound, and he pops back up. Who threw that? Who did that? And the entire group starts getting in an uproar.
I'm going to probably be stifling laughter and trying to pull the Crumpet kid away.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and make another strength roll. Or make a strength roll, I should say, just to pull him away. Oh, you can beat that.
8. Never mind.
You won. He got a 3.
Oh.
You pull him around the other side of one of the cracker houses as it starts to get pandemonious and chaos around, and Tango's up there screaming his head off. I knew through that brick. Oh, this is what happens when we talk about foreigners. Everybody gets all riled up and gets all angry. This is absolutely unacceptable. We need to build a waffle fence. And then he starts going into his speech again, and the crowd starts to calm down a little bit while a couple loose agents of donuts and buns start running around town looking for who threw the brick. So, Jamie, your character has dragged him behind a house, and the other two are...
Did I see where she dragged him?
I've been oblivious to everything up until he got hit with the brick, I suppose. So I look around for the other two, and I have no idea where they just ran off to.
Did I see where she dragged him off?
What's that?
Did I see where she dragged him off?
Yeah, you were involved in doing things too. Yeah.
Do I see where Topper's at?
Yeah, you left him standing there, right? So you know where he is too.
Then I will get Topper and I'll take him to where she dragged off the little kid.
Okay. Jamie, you've got the Crumpet kid in front of you, and he says, "Why'd you try to stop me? He deserved it."
Again, I don't disagree with you. But the problem is, now you got a bunch of people looking after your crust.
I can watch my own crust. You watch your crust, lady. And he runs off, and as he disappears around the corner, you see a couple more of the Crumpet kids meet up with him, and they disappear around another corner. So he's joined his gang. He's joined with his gang and has disappeared. And you guys are now standing behind a cracker house as the town calms down from the initial excitement. Tango wasn't hurt. He was annoyed.
Unfortunately.
All right, you guys are now standing behind the cracker house. You still have to go to the outskirts of town and practice, and you witness the campaign speech of the guy who hopes to unseat the incumbent mayor. You can draw your own conclusions from what he said. He's a fearmongerer.
What was that all about, guys? Who was that little kid?
I don't know. I just saw him wanting to throw something at someone for I had no idea reason why. Did you find anything, Topper?
I wasn't looking for anything. That was the kid that threw the brick at the wannabe mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
What a heel.
Guy is the orange dude is just being a jerk.
Tango Creme.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I just choose not to say his name.
Oh, I don't
Sorry,
know, Pavlo. He said something about meat people, and it sounds kind of scary to me.
Either way, like, it can be scary all we want, but violence amongst our people is not the way to do it. So I was trying to get the kid not to throw the brick, and then I tried to pull him out of there because everybody else was going out for butter on him.
Well, it sounds to me like the kid's the one that needs talking to.
I tried! And then he ran off. I don't know what you wanted me to do. He was slippery.
Well, you know how the little ones are. They'd slip away like they were buttered.
Uh-huh. They haven't fully risen yet.
Excellent. As you guys are talking, Mrs. Popover, the leader of your band, you can hear her calling off in the distance, "Come on, it's time to practice."
Oh, geez, we're late.
Oh, little legs gotta carry me now.
You guys head to the northeast of town on the sidewalk bread crusts, and you meet Mrs. Popover at the edge of the forest where the main path out of town is. And she says, "Where were you guys? Were you all listening to Tango give his speech?"
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Yep.
I think you're right, but unfortunately the rest of the band is off listening to the speech still and probably won't come for the practice. So I guess it's just us three for now.
Well, hopefully it helps me. I'm not going to be all that great right now.
Something that you guys do notice is that there's an awful lot of they look like crows, but they're actually jackdaws in the forest around you, making their calls and making their sounds. This isn't necessarily unusual, but there is quite a lot of them, and they are directly in the trees above you. They are not speaking. They're speaking the jackdaw language. Every animal has its own little species language that it talks.
Oh, that's a little ominous.
You've never been attacked by an animal before, so it's not necessarily an uneasy sight, but there is an awful lot of them, which is a little concerning.
And the fact that they're not speaking where we can understand.
Maybe they just came to hear us practice. We are pretty good.
Mrs. Popover says, I think you're right. Why don't we all give it a try? And she leads you in a round of a song for the Bunbury Breakfast Band. Everybody make a performance roll.
That's what I was worried about.
14.
14 is good.
12.
That's not bad.
9 minus 2, 7.
7?
Like I said. There you go. There's Ian again.
So you're giving your performance. Unfortunately, Vance, you're a little off key. And Mrs. Popover says, stop. Let's try one more time. And she asks you to do it and start over again. So make another performance roll. And as you're doing that, I'd like everybody to also make perception checks.
So one of each.
Performance roll first.
Yep, and then perception after that.
Performance was a 13.
Okay. Good.
Wow, Ian.
What do you get?
2.
Okay.
I'm definitely the Ian of this group today.
You didn't do worse than him.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
I rolled another one.
Oh, okay.
And apparently 13 is my lucky number today because I got another 13.
I am the most oblivious pastry in Bunbury right now.
And go ahead and make your perception checks, please. 13?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You can keep that.
Yeah, my performance was a 13. My perception check was a 1.
Okay, excellent.
I was jamming. I was just...
You're playing away, doing fairly well.
Getting the fife solo in.
Phylla, you notice out of the corner of your eye that 6 Crumpet children are now marching out of the town gates and walking around you.
22.
22 for your performance?
No, for perception.
Perception? You definitely see the 6 kids walking out towards you.
That's why his performance isn't good. He's not paying attention to what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. You're too focused on the kids who you know now, after seeing one wing a brick at a political figure and have no qualms about it, are now gathering around your group.
Hey, there's the kid that threw the brick.
And a bunch of his friends. Careful, guys. This could be a crusty situation.
One of the Crumpet kids starts hollering, I've heard better music out of an oboe pipe. Another one looks at you and it's just like, you're the crustiest individuals in town. I can't believe that you're members of the band. And they start heckling you.
Hey, if you want to come over here and join, we're happy to have you.
We can't play any instruments.
And you
Then
can't
you shouldn't
say
be throwing
anything.
any shade.
Whatever, forget this. And they leave farther down the town. They leave farther down the walkway away from town. And the crows fly after them.
Should we follow those kids? Find out why they wanted to throw the brick, and then find out where they're from and why their crows are following them?
I'm sure that the Orange Mare has his own security people that can find out about that. We've got a duty to perform our music. You need to concentrate and play your saxophone.
I'm trying.
Very good, Topper. Let's go one more round. And everybody make performance rolls again.
Oh, God, I'm so bad at performance.
That makes it fun.
And yet I got a 16.
That's great.
13.
Jamming. You got a 13. You got Jamie's roll. And what did
I'm just
Ian
consistent.
get?
That's
Ian, Vance, the lame taunts of the Crumpets really got to you, and you feel kind of down at the moment, so you're not playing at the top of your game. The other two are doing great, jamming away, having a fun time. Mrs. Popover is clapping along.
What's wrong, Vance? Did those kids get your buns in a twist?
Yes. I look down.
You hear screaming coming from the outside of town where the Crumpets left.
Why do I have a feeling those jackdaws were an ominous sign?
Well, I suppose we should go see. We're closest.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah, they're just kids, even if they're being jerks.
That's right.
Mrs. Popover says, "I'll run back into town and see if I can get some help. You go check. You go find out what's going on with them." And she rushes off into the main town.
We'll head up the breadcrumb road and go see what the kids are doing.
All right, you go down and you see that the kids are standing in the center of the path because they're pretty stupid because they're kids, and they are being dive bombed by jackdaws. Everybody, roll for initiative.
Nat 20?
Oh my goodness. Initiative 20. Okay.
Oh no, my full initiative is 23.
That's
Nat
22.
20.
I rolled a 19, but I got a +1 on my initiative, so I get a
gritty
total
20.
of 20.
Good thing you used it on that, right?
Right. That's the good one.
17.
17. Man, you guys roll great.
For once.
At least on the important thing.
Let's see what I get.
Hey, my perception is important. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to go with the lowest one for all of them because they're all the same monster. You're going to go before all of them at least.
I have a question about our characters.
Sure.
Actually, it's a two-parter.
Okay, which...
One, do we have our weapons that we rolled up?
Oh, yeah.
And two, are they also carbohydrate themed?
Yes, they are.
All right.
So you have breadstick.
Breadstick crossbow?
Yeah,
Like-
whatever you... Yeah,
Oh, I was thinking pretzel.
pretzel, whatever you've got, yeah.
Well,
You guys-
the bolts are breadsticks.
Like, for example,
Yes.
my scythe, the handle itself is
The
made
day
out of a
old
long, hardened breadstick, while the scythe itself is made out of a weird-shaped pizza. And then the sickles that I have on my side are the kind of like the smaller version of that, with little jams filling it up to repair and done on it.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds perfect. First up is Pablo. You see the kids standing in the center of the road, surrounded by 4 main swarms of jackdaws, and they are swooping in and diving at them, and pecking at them and eating them. What wilt thou do?
Pick on somebody your own serving.
That's brilliant.
And then I'm gonna fire an arrow at the at probably the one that looks like it's the one that's going to attack the kids next.
Okay. They're all like, just imagine like the kids are here on the overmap, and there's just 4 around them, so you could pick any of them.
How close are we to them?
You're within 30 feet of them. They didn't get too far
Okay.
away from you before the birds started attacking them.
Okay. Then I can do both my crossbows.
All right, do it. Roll your attack.
What'd you get? You rolled a 1?
It was a 1.
Critical fail on an attack.
Okay, we'll do your second attack. You get 2, right?
17.
17. Well, that one hits. The first one goes really bad. You aim at it, and it hits one of the children, and they scream.
That's for the brick, you little... Oh.
Yeah. He probably deserved it. He actually screams out, "I thought you were going to help us!" The second attack does hit. It actually pierces through 2 of the ravens in it. Can you please roll your damage?
7.
Yeah, all right. 2 of them are now dead in that little swarm.
Yikes.
So that's not so bad. You hit a kid, but who cares, right? He's a little
jerk.
troublemaker anyway.
They're all little doughboys. They'll come back quick. They can all use a little kneading. It's fine.
Topper, you're up next.
I am going to draw my my large stale baguette greatsword and leap into the fray, shouting, "No carbo loading for you today!" and just start swinging above the heads of the kids.
All right, so you're gonna try and aim for like all 4 of them at once, basically.
I'm gonna kind of do a sweep and hope I get at least one of them.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
14.
14. You hit all of them. You're go ahead and roll your damage. I want to see how much damage you do before I.
Oh, max damage 14.
You got 14. Oh my gosh!
It's 2d6 for the two-handed greatsword, and I rolled 2 6s.
Oh my gosh! Okay, hang on one second. Let me do this real quick. Damage.
Nice.
That is crazy. That's almost like
That's right. I roll well when it counts.
You certainly did. That was a big chunk of damage in everybody. Okay, so Topper lunges into battle, unsheathing his giant greatsword baguette, slices it right over the heads of the children, barely clearing the top of them, but just barely shaving them a little bit, and cuts clean through the swarm, killing tons of birds in each one. The swarms are now half of what they were before. At least 5 birds per swarm were killed in one hit. The birds are screaming and angry and a little less focused on the children now, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think I just made myself a tasty target.
That's amazing. Okay, Vance, your turn.
I am going to go, for my bonus action, go into a Frenzy Rage.
Okay.
And run up to them with my scythe and yell out, "Get off of our perfect creations!"
All right. Roll your check. Better not hit the kids too with your
one. Vance really likes the kids. I don't have that kind of confection towards them.
Probably one of the best ones any of us have made so far.
Yeah.
We opened the pun door on this one, and I am the guy that's got all the dad jokes, even though I don't have any kids.
I'm glad, because they need it.
Not a terrible thing.
And I roll a.
Okay. You pull out your scythe.
Is it a 1?
Yeah.
For my what? You got a 1?
Uh-huh.
There's the good old Ian we know and love.
So you pull out your scythe and you aim at the jackdaws.
Oh no, I'm right there.
Well, I'm using a different stat block here, obviously. But you aim at the jackdaws. They get in your face and confuse you, and you bring your scythe down right in the center of the crumpets, just barely missing any of them. But your scythe is now stuck in the flour and meal ground, and you'll have to pull it out on your next turn. And you're in the middle with the children now, in the middle of the swarm as well, and right open for attack. And, oh, by the way, it's their turn.
Oh, no!
Just so you know, if I get attacked, I have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage.
Remind me if I actually try to hit you here.
So me and Vance are now in the middle of the group of kids.
Right.
Okay.
That means you can also try to use your turn and I'm gonna get since you're right there with them, I'm gonna give you the chance if the jackdaws go after them, you can try and block them with even though it's not your turn. You're right there. I don't think there's a reason why you couldn't do that.
It's all a big melee, so we'll see.
Exactly. So the first ones are gonna go after Vance. Does let's see.
Take this, doughboy!
Pretty much. Does a 17 hit you?
Oh, I have 13.
You have 13? Okay. Yikes. Excellent. Then the first swarm goes down at you. You take 9 damage.
Oh!
Beating you and taking little pieces out of you, and your jam starts running down the side.
How much is that with resistance?
What's your resistance again?
Against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
This is piercing.
I think that's half.
Yeah. Resistance is half, but it's rounded up, so you take 5.
Oh, no, excuse me, I did the wrong one. Because they're at half.
It's actually 17 damage! Oh.
You're only going to take 2 damage, no.
Oh, so
2. And then if you do resistance, then 1, I guess? I'm not sure.
Yep.
There you go. So the first swarm comes down at you and does that, and they're lame, so they didn't do very well. Next one's going to try again, too. And that one completely misses you. They peck at you, but they don't actually hit you because you're using your scythe hand to deflect them. Even though it's stuck in the ground, dashing around, holding it in front of you. Or maybe you're using the kids as a shield. I don't know. Next one's going to aim at one of the kids.
Seeing how some of his characters are acting, I'd see that one happening.
No, they're my perfect creations. They cannot touch.
The next one aims at one of the Crumpet kids, but Tom Topper deflects them and you don't take any damage from it. And the last one misses completely too. Okay. Fine. Even though you're in the middle of a swarm, there's tons of things happening, they all miss. That's just great. Pablo, it's your turn again.
We need to get these kids to fly out of here.
19 and then 22.
Yeah, they both hit. Roll your damage.
What are you, just double fisting crossbows?
Yeah. They're like light hand. They're like, I'm essentially pistols.
Nice.
Let's see. First one is 4. Second one is 9.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the first swarm closest to you that you hit before, that one is now dead. The second swarm is nearly dead. They are down to just a couple birds, and they all look very, very unhappy as your arrows or breadstick arrows go flying in.
It's like they shatter on impact, so there's shrapnel that goes everywhere in the form of...
They're only mostly dead.
They're almost dead, and they're bloody and looking really unhappy. None of them have spoken or anything yet, which is unusual for you.
I thought you said one said, "Take that, doughboy."
No, I shouted that out when it was their turn.
Oh, okay.
All right, Topper, it's your turn again.
Now that I have to protect Vance as well as the children, I am going to stand as tall as my little muffin legs can raise me up and do another sweeping strike with my baguette of doom.
It worked well last time.
Certainly did. Shall we?
Yep. Don't roll a 1. Don't roll a 1.
Ooh! 23.
Yeah, that'll hit. You know it.
How many more groups of these things are there?
3.
3? After I roll damage, I would also like to use my special action surge to take 1 additional action.
Okay.
I can use it once per short rest.
All right.
So first my damage. Ooh, 13.
You're in the middle of the melee. You're standing as tall as you can, which is taller currently than Vance, who's down trying to get his scythe out of the ground, and the children who are much shorter than you. By the way, all of you are max 4 feet tall. You're about the size of a small child. And everything in town is scaled appropriately as such. So you stand up, determined to end the menace to these poor, innocent children as best you can, because as far as you know, you didn't see them do anything wrong because you were focused on the politician.
Yep.
You pull out your amazing greatsword, breadstick, baguette.
I'm gonna shout, "You won't touch a crumb on their heads!" and swing.
Sweep it all the way around in a 360-degree arc, and you nail every single swarm and kill every last bird in 2 rotations around you.
I guess I don't need my extra action.
Dead. The Crumpet kids are cowering, and they have visible pieces of their flesh, which is bread, picked out of them, and they're crying and looking upset.
Calm down, kids. Calm down. You just got nibbled on a little. It's fine.
Oh, we'll never be beautiful. We'll never go to a tea party again.
I do want to first off try to take my scythe out of the ground.
Okay, you can do that without any problem because you're not in the middle of combat and it's not going to be difficult. You can take your time to do it if it takes a while.
And then the second thing is I'm going to take out my tinker tools and my jam and try to repair them.
Okay. So what do you have to do to tinker and repair something? Is there like a move you have to make, or do you just get to do it?
I'm, what do you call it, proficient with it. So it's whatever thing you want to choose on that act of it, and then I'm proficient with that aspect of it.
So you can say you do it, and then you just role play it, then it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pull out your tool set to repair the children, and you tell all of them to line up in a line, and you start repairing the kids one by one. You're engaged with repairing the Crumpet children and making them look as good as they can so they can attend another tea party. And I need Phylla and Topper to make a perception check while you watch this, please.
Nat 20.
Oh my, okay.
I got a 10. It's better than the ones I've been rolling for perception.
It is better. You're engaged with watching the Crumpet action. You might actually be interested in getting yourself repaired a little bit. You didn't take any damage, but you had a little bit of scratches from them, from deflecting them. It didn't do any damage to you, but no?
It
didn't happen at all.
No. It's just that chicks dig scars. So.
Oh, that's true. You could. Then you're thinking, I don't need to do that.
I'm just adding to my folk hero legend by keeping them. Now I can say that I've battled an entire horde of angry birds.
And you have, absolutely. Phylla,
and this time I have witnesses.
Phylla, you're a little annoyed that the kid who winged a brick at a politician and then heckled you and then got attacked and put you in serious danger is now receiving free aid from one of your party members. So you've decided to look in another direction with no comment further. And coming out of the forest, you see two meat people dressed all in purple. What will you do? You have a 20, so you have the advantage on anything you can do. You've never seen a meat person before.
Oh, okay. How far away are they?
They are coming out of the forest wall. So I would say 40, 50 feet.
Okay. All right.
They haven't noticed you yet.
Right.
How about I give you a description of what they look like while you think about what you want to do, because you're kind of watching them carefully before they notice you. You see two fit men wearing dark purple boots and breeches. One has a light purple shirt with a red vest, and the other is no shirt and just a vest. Both are wearing matching purple bicocket with hats, which is kind of like a Robin Hood style hat with a little red feather sticking out of it. The one with the shirt is tanned with dark hair, and the one with just the vest is stained a mysterious shade of dark blue purple. It's covering his entire torso and his clothes.
Okay.
From his hair down his upper body, and their meat people somehow come to Bunbury, which has never happened before, as far as you know.
All right. I am going to take a very defensive stance in front of the group of kids.
Okay. So you're gonna kind of block them off, like.
Yeah, I'm like standing, like holding my crossbows, not pointing forward, but just kind of at the ready, showing like I'm armed.
Okay, with your crossbow.
My pretzel crossbows and my breadstick arrows.
And you're not saying anything?
No, I was going to. I was just describing my stance, like,
okay,
like, oh, who goes there?
They stop immediately moving, and they turn to look, and they look shocked to see you, as you probably look shocked to see them. They say, "We don't mean to hurt you. May we speak?"
Do I see any of this?
You will notice it once they start talking. Yes, you'll turn and you'll immediately see the two men in purple outfits.
As soon as I see them, seeing as how we've never seen people like this before, yes. I am going to shout out in surprise, "Oh Lord, we're being invaded! Get the children out of here!" And I'm going to turn around and start herding the kids back towards town as quickly as I can.
Wait, I'm not done yet!
Go!
What are you doing to us? Stop touching us. We want to be beautiful. What is wrong with you? We want to grow up looking nice. And all the kids are annoyed and fighting you. They don't see the two meat people yet because they're still off near the forest entrance.
Don't go! And I'm trying to run after them while trying to repair them at the same time.
Okay. And you're herding them back towards town?
As quickly as I can get them to move. I'm booting them in the buns and...
They'll say, "Why are you doing this to us? What's going on?" They're annoyed.
We're being invaded! The meat people are here!
What? They all turn. Everybody then turns and looks to where Phylla is looking at, and everybody stops still and sees the two meat people. And they're both standing there looking shocked and amazed, and they say, we don't mean to hurt you. We're unarmed. We have no weapons.
I was going to say, what I'm going to say is, let me see your hands.
They hold out their hands to show that there's nothing. They do have backpacks on with sleeping rolls, but they say, "We have no weapons of any kind. We have traveled long and far." Is this Bunbury?
How do you know that name?
It is a long tale. If you don't mind, we can sit and tell you. And the one that's not stained, wearing the shirt, laughs.
Laughs?
Laughs, yeah. It's a long tale.
I'm gonna look back towards Topper and Vance.
I'm still running back towards the town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm still
rush
hurt. Like,
back.
I didn't stop. I'm yelling as we're running down the road. I'm yelling for the guard to come out. And, like, I am in full, like Invaders from Mars panic mode.
And I'm following them, trying to repair them while I'm also exhausted at the same time.
All right, so Phylla, they take off their packs and they sit down cross-legged and they look very tired and exhausted. They say, "We are unarmed. We've come to trade. We have some items to trade if you wish. We're here for flour, but we'd be happy to explain how we came upon your town and how we knew of its existence if you'd listen to our tale."
I'll take like a couple of steps closer, but I'm still going to leave probably about 20 feet between us.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Like closer that we don't have to like yell at each other, but still I'm going to have advantage if they try to move.
Of course, yeah. Okay. They say, the one with the shirt says, "How about we start with names? My name is Parvis," and then he gestures to the shirtless, vest-wearing blue man, and this is Perzo. "We come from the kingdom of Pumperdink."
Pumpernickel?
Pumperdink, not Pumpernickel. They actually both laugh at that. They find that amusing.
And I'm like trying to think of this name, and I'm like, well, I am Phylla, and I patrol around the town sometimes. You say you want flour, but what do you have? You said you want to trade?
Well, certainly. Would you like to see some of our items? It is in our pack. You're welcome to look in the pack yourself if you wish.
That's okay. I'm not a trader. I would leave that to our vendors, but...
Of course. They put the pack behind them again.
You said it's a tale. How about you make that somewhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes to tell me what it is?
Certainly. They bow their heads at you, and Parvis, the one wearing the shirt, begins the story. He says, "We come from the northern kingdom of Pumperdink in the Gilligan country up north of the Emerald City. We were tasked by the chief footman to His Majesty King Pompous the Proud, our ruler, to procure flour for his son Prince Pompadour's 8th birthday. On our way through Follansby Forest to gather it, we ran into the ugly fairy princess Valero, who's a local menace to everybody. We accidentally physically ran into her with our cart, and as punishment, she disappeared the flour that was destined to the kingdom. An entire year's supply of royal flour was gone in an instant, and she knew the king would punish us. Perzo," and he gestures to his friend, "decided to take the punishment on his own and left me out of it and faced the king alone. The king ordered him dipped, and he was. As further punishment, he ordered us to find not just more flour, but the finest flour in all of Oz. We were discouraged, of course. We had a fine product before, and to find it in all of Oz after our kingdom is run out, we didn't know what else to do. We found a soothsayer in Pumperdink who soothsayed that Bunbury in the south of Oz, in the Quadling country, is the only place to find the highest quality flour. So it's taken us many weeks of travel, and it was very dangerous. In the southern Gilligan country, we found an army of women. We had to avoid them because they were chanting slogans against men. We don't know what that was about, but as 2 men, we had to avoid it.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
The Emerald City was pleasant, at least. We had a nice evening there. But we've finally passed through a couple strange towns down here. Utensia, Bunbury. I don't know. They're around here. I don't know if you've heard of them. But they were terrifying.
Out of character, would I know them?
If you've never left town, then no. But they are very close. So it's been a long and treacherous journey, and Prince Pompadour's 8th birthday is soon, and if we don't get the flour, His Majesty will be most displeased. He might dip us both again, or worse. And we're hoping that this is Bunbury and that we can trade for flour.
I mean, being dipped in butter isn't exactly like the worst punishment ever.
It's not butter, my dear. And he gestures over to Perzo, and Perzo is blue, streaked from head to toe. And they explained that there is a well in the center of Pumperdink, and it is full of blue dye, and people are held by their feet and dipped in the dye. And it lasts for weeks and weeks, and all the country people know the shame of the person who's been dipped for displeasing the king. Personally,
I think it's rather fetching. It's like a nice royal icing.
Perzo looks and he says, "You're very flattering, madam. In my kingdom, it is not a sign of anything but displeasing the king, and it is very embarrassing to be seen like this until the dye is washed out. However, we did bring some of the dye with us in case you have something that you wish to dye. It is one of the commodities of our country, Pumperdink."
As I said, I'm no vendor, but I understand your tale. We have no king, though I know the types of rulers that those are, even though we have none.
You have the mayor, Mr. C. Bun Esquire, in town.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I was like, I will bring your request to our mayor. I will ask that you stay here outside of town. We've never seen people like you.
And we have never seen people like you either.
I look down at myself and I'm like, I am as I was made.
Perzo says, "It's a good thing we're not hungry now, eh, Parvis?" And Parvis says, "Shut up, shut up."
And okay, do I hear that?
Oh yeah.
So that's when I raise the crossbow at him and I'm like, "I'm sorry?"
He says, "I'm just teasing, my dear. We would never do anything to harm the citizens of your town."
I would recommend that you refrain from those types of jokes. They will not be well received.
You're serious about it, but Perzo is smiling and has a twinkle in his eye. He is joking.
That's fine, but my character's serious.
That's okay. Yeah. You know that he's joking though, but you are laying down the law, which is good.
Yeah, which it's even joking about eating one of our citizens is a pretty serious offense.
Parvis says, "Yes, and Perzo will never do it again, will he, Perzo?" And he jabs him. He says, "We would be happy to wait here while you go and talk to the leaders of your town. We do not wish to cause any incident, of course." And they reach into their pack and they pull out a skin and they say, "Would you like to have a sample of one of our products? This is wine made from the grapes of our country."
I appreciate the gesture, but I hope you'll excuse me if I decline currently.
"Of course. Well then, if you won't drink it, we shall." And they take turns swigging out of it while you watch them. They look happy.
All right. I'm going to... I will start making my way back to town, but I'm not going to completely turn my back because, again, soldier, I'm like, I'm not sidestepping crab style. I'm just kind of I'm going to look back every now and again.
They're sitting and they are completely open to attack. They are not looking like they're under any duress or problem. They're even ignoring all the jackdaws on the ground that are bloody and dead because they figure you probably did it and there's no danger now.
And maybe take me seriously.
Yeah, exactly. They're quietly sitting and drinking a little bit of wine and water, it looks like. Back to Topper, who has been herding the children with Vance back to town. As the children protest, you make it to the main town proper, and the kids are putting up an unholy racket, and as soon as they enter the town, they disappear off to their house in the northern part of town. I think I put it there. Yeah, that'll work. They're in the northern part of town from where you are. And you're going to flag down somebody and say there's people.
Any authority figure, town militia, mayor.
No, you can find the mayor back at his town residence, which is all the way at the other side of town. You have to go through the town proper, up in the northwest corner to get on top of a hill where it is. So you're shuffling the children into town. They've rushed off, and you're trying to flag down anybody that'll listen to you. You actually gather quite a few people.
Well,
the rally for for Tango has ended, and Tango's running around as well. And you're screaming at the top of your lungs, what?
Meat people! We're being invaded! Just outside of town, we were practicing, and they showed up, and...
Tango immediately says, "See, I told you I was right! Meat people, invaders, I knew it, I was right! This is why we need to have waffle fences and gates all around town!" And he says, "Everybody get to the outskirts of town!" And everybody starts grabbing whatever item that can be used as a makeshift weapon and is rushing towards the outskirts of town now.
Uh,
Do you still want to find the only authority in town, which is Mayor Seabun Esquire?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna they gotta know if we've got other people that are heading back to fend off the invaders. I'm gonna do my best to go and warn the proper authorities.
Okay.
I will also follow because we also have to tell them about the birds.
Okay, so you guys are rushing over the breadcrust road. It takes you just a few minutes, and you make it across town, past the town hall, past the park to Seabun Manor, Cinnamon Bun Esquire's Manor. You rap on the door of the graham cracker house that's available, and after a few minutes, a maid opens it, and she says, "Yes."
We need to speak to Mr. Bun as soon as possible.
Mr. Bun is very busy right now.
This is important. It's very important. We have to talk to him.
Yes,
Little kids were attacked.
Yes, I'm sure it was very important, but unfortunately, he has a lot of work to do with Tango's rivalry in politics and the voting coming up. So, wait, you said kids were attacked?
Yes, by birds.
Birds? Birds don't attack Bunburians.
I am going to grip her up by the lapels.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna start shaking her and be like, "There are meat people!"
She shakes back and forth, up and down. Oh my goodness. Okay. And she dashes back into the house, calling, "Mayor Seabun! Mayor Bun! Come quick! Meat people! Meat people are outside town!"
And birds!
After just a few seconds, you hear a couple cracker doors slam and come rushing out, and you see Seabun Esquire, frosted from head to toe as the nobility of town would be. He comes rushing up, and his daughter appears out of another door, the beautiful and eligible bachelorette, Madeline Bun the younger, with frosted hair herself. Gorgeous. Very eligible, by the way. And they say, What's happening? What's going on? How can we help you?
I'm gonna go up to Bun is there? Seabun's there?
Both of them are Bun. Seabun is Cinnamon Bun, the mayor, and his daughter is Madeline.
I'm gonna go up to the mayor and do the same thing I did to the maid. I'm gonna grab him up and start like, "There are meat people!"
Okay, so as you shake him, he is and he can't get a hold of himself. Madeline comes up and I got a 20. Slaps you and says, "This is no time to panic. Merciful heavens, get a hold of your faculties, my young Bun."
Thanks, I was crumbling there. I needed that. But there are meat people. We need to do something.
However, more importantly, birds attacked our children.
Birds and meat people outside of town? Take us there immediately, Mr. Bun Esquire says.
I turn around and start dashing back out of the house.
Both of you, all of you start running towards the edge of town and going back to where you came from. The town is now pretty empty, except for the doors being shuttered and the windows being closed on the houses for people that are too scared to go face meat people and invaders. Phylla, on your way back in, you see a giant crowd of Bunburians come running out towards the outskirts of town, looking angry, with Tango leading the charge, screeching that he's going to kill the invaders before they can kill the Bunburians.
I am going to actually shoot an arrow, just not directly at Tango, but a few feet in front of him to just try and make him stop.
Yeah. So you fire a warning shot, which stops Tango and everybody else in his tracks, and you level your crossbow right at them. And everybody stops to listen to you, momentarily taken out of their frenzy for blood, or butter in this case.
Or jam.
Or jam, if they have jam insides, yeah.
Yeah. This is not who we are. Stop. They're not here to hurt us.
You can't know that. Yeah,
yes, I can. And the next person who decides that they're out for the Meat People's Jam gets to talk with me one-on-one.
Make a persuasion roll, please.
Oh, God damn it. Charisma's one of my dump stats.
Didn't know. It's
Or
a
I
weird
got
one.
17.
You got a 17? The crowd immediately starts to calm down. Tango's looking around in dazed disbelief that the people wouldn't follow him to whatever he said. He looks really annoyed and glares at you. He points his finger at you and he says, if anything bad happens, this is on your top. And he turns and he sulks in the side and sits down on the ground while the rest of the people start milling about aimlessly.
All right, everybody. How about we get back into town until we can get the mayor here, the actual mayor. And I look, and I'm like glaring at Tango.
Well, we'll see what happens with the election, young lady.
Yeah, we will.
Square bun or two. You, as you're saying that, the rest of you come rushing up with the actual mayor, and through the crowd, he says, "Well, what on earth is happening? Why is there a big crowd of people out here? What on earth is happening?" Everybody says, "There's meat people outside of town. We're going to go kill them." And
no, we're not.
What do you mean we're not? They're invading us.
No, they're not.
They're not?
No. While y'all were running, I actually talked to them. They don't have any weapons. They're sitting on the ground waiting to talk to us.
Tango says, "No good can come from associating with foreign meat people. You can't trust their lies."
Just as much as I'd trust you, you day old piece of crust.
Oh, young lady, there's no reason to throw profanities at me.
Oh, trust me, I'd be throwing something far worse.
You weren't the one that threw that brick, were you?
No, unfortunately.
Well, hold on, everybody. You're right. Let's not go off half-baked here.
Mr. Bunn says, "Everybody please return to your homes and houses. If you would like to defend the town in the event of a disaster or in the event that they do turn out to be difficult and are here to do us harm, I ask that you gather whatever weapon you have and form a perimeter on the outside of town. I will take 2 of you with me." He points at a donut hole and a giant donut. He says, "Come with me as escorts, and we will go speak to them and find out the reason for them being here."
So sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to incite an angry mob. My fault. Sorry.
and Mr. Bunn looks at you, Mayor Bunn. He says, "Young man, you've done the right thing and called attention to a possible threat to the town. You are a hero. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise." And he says,
Topper, you just did what you thought you needed to do. I'm not even upset at you.
I lay my hand on top of Topper's top. You did good.
Are you taller than him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because you're long bread. Got it.
I'm sourdough, long bread.
I thought it was long dough.
Well, you now head towards the outskirts of town, and the first thing you see is a bloody mess of dead birds. And Mayor Bunn says, "What on earth happened here?"
They attacked our children.
Birds
Our
attacked
perfections.
children?
Yeah. No clue why, but, and I'm going to look towards Topper and I'm like, but thankfully we had Topper. He definitely helped save all those kids.
I see. Did the birds say anything before they attacked?
Not a word.
How unusual.
They just kept trying to peck us.
We have an agreement with the creatures of the forest. We can give them cast-off items of food if they require it, so they don't eat us. To have them attack out of the blue, I wonder if this has anything to do with those rumors of animals turning feral. I didn't think it would happen in this part of Oz. I thought it was farther away.
Well,
What rumors are you talking about?
Rumors that have been said around town that animals were feral and attacking people. I had led no credence to them, but this is a bun of a different color.
Well, the meat people did show up right after we defeated the birds. Could that have had something to do with it?
Oh, of course, the meat people. I almost forgot. And you go farther down the way, and there are the 2 meat people dressed in purple, sitting comfortably and waiting patiently, having drank a little bit with red faces now. They look pleasant and kind.
I take out my sight.
They look
take out my
pleasant.
scythe.
They look pleasant and kind. I draw my weapon.
I like it. So you pull out your. This is a very xenophobic society. Never having seen meat people, and with somebody inciting everybody around it. I mean, everybody being on their guard is very understandable, and trying to make sure nobody gets hurt. It makes perfect sense. I think you guys are doing a great job role playing it. So
I probably only have one of my crossbows out because since I've already talked to them, I'm like, all right, these guys, not that big of a deal, but at the same time,
Right.
just in case.
Yeah, they have no weapons. You thoroughly looked at them, and they clearly do not have anything concealed upon their person, which strikes you as odd because you wouldn't go out in the wild without something to protect you just in case, especially now that you've seen birds, but that's neither here nor there, I'm sure. So you guys go out, and you see they stand up when they see the esteemed C. Bun Esquire coming at them, the mayor, and they bow down as if they're bowing to a king, and they say, hello, is this your leader?
This is our mayor, yes. This is Mr. C. Bun, and he is going to be pretty much the top authority to determine whether or not you're allowed to come near the town.
Okay. We would be happy to share our tale again with the mayor. We mean no harm. We just wish to trade. They go through the tale again that you've all heard before previously, and they discuss with the mayor different terms. The mayor turns to all of you and says, "Well, I'm satisfied. Do they have any weapons on them? Have any of you searched them?"
I haven't gotten close enough for that, but they don't appear to have any weapons as far as I can tell.
What is your name?
Phylla, sir.
Phylla. If they will submit to a search and they have no weapons and we can take care of them, I see no harm in letting them into the town to trade them our finest flour. We can let them stay for the night and then let them go in the morning. I think that trade could improve the lives of the Bunbury citizens, and if they're not going to hurt anybody, there's no reason not to invite them.
Or they can stay here if you want them to, and I can go whack us some wheat.
Madeline hears that and she says, nonsense. They can stay at the manor with us.
I'm going to pipe up. I'm like, from a purely logical standpoint, given the fact of Tango lately, I'm not sure that it would be wise to have them come too far into town and possibly create negative perspectives. Even if they themselves are peaceful, we wouldn't want to incite any further issues.
Madeline looks at you square in the eyes and says, "You're absolutely correct. However, if we bring them in, treat them with kindness and hospitality, and show the town that meat people are not something to be feared, we may be less afraid to live in the world that we currently exist in, and our world can expand beyond the tiny borders of our small town."
Just in case. You can also have them, because I live near the wheat fields. They can stay at my place, if need be. That way, they are staying with one of our members, but they're not in the town.
Your idea is not bad, but they won't be able to live in comfort. They can live in our guest house for the evening, and we can lock them in the evening so that they aren't able to leave among town in the dark. Is this acceptable for everybody?
Well, Miss Bunn, I think that your offer is very kind, but please let me keep watch. I feel the need to keep a glaze on them after inciting the town like I did. I can protect them as much as I can keep one of my eyes on them.
Certainly. I see no reason why that wouldn't be a problem. In fact, if you three would like to give them a tour of Bunbury, we can end it at the mansion and we can discuss trade in there, and then we can all wake up and give them the finest flour that we have available and have an equitable situation for all. So as you guys are all discussing it and coming to an understanding, so Perzo says, not to be indelicate, but do you have anything to eat in your town? Which immediately sets you all on your guard again.
Jam.
I'm sure we can find something for you.
They nod
again,
their head.
Remember what I said.
Of course. Of course.
But we do obviously still eat. So yes, we have breads and jams that are not our citizens.
You have a great deal of furniture in your houses that is made entirely of edibles too. The only food that you would normally have probably would be the jam river that you live near, the butter mine, and the doliander trees and the dodira trees, or whatever I said they were. It's hard to keep all this straight.
It's just so awesome.
Yeah, so you can pick donuts off and you can give them some bread and you can give them some butter from it. You can also feed them doormats. You can feed them a piano if you want to. You can feed them a harp. You can feed them a cushion. Whatever you want to do, because everything's edible in town.
Are they seriously eating the furniture?
I'm just saying that's an option. You guys that's the biggest form of food that would be edible for them.
That was my dining room table.
That hasn't happened yet, but yeah.
I hand them my
chair anyway. It's okay.
I hand them my Tenor Jam. I swear it was the Tenor Jam and not me that was playing horribly.
You hand them the Tenor Jam to eat?
Yes. I swear it's not. Because I swear it wasn't me that was playing horribly. It was the instrument.
Bad workman always blames his tools.
Okay, so you hand them your tenor sax. They split it in two and they start to eat it. They say, "Thank you. This is delicious. It's very fresh." Nom 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 nom.
Fetch! Now what are you gonna play?
I can make another one. Don't worry.
But
it might be best to just not do that again.
They stand up and they say, "Okay, well, did you want to give us a tour of your town? We'd love to see your town. It looks amazing. It smells wonderful."
Oh, I was actually talking to Ian about not making another instrument.
Poor Ian.
Let's go and get this tour underway. I think the sooner we get them settled in, the better it'll be for the entire town.
Okay, so you guys take them into town. It's now midday, probably after all the excitement of what's been happening. A lot's been going on. A lot of things have happened. As you enter the town proper, everybody in town gets their first glance of the meat people with Tango right at the front saying, "I've warned you all! This will not end well, and any danger that happens or peril that befalls this town is upon the heads of these people."
And I'm going to, again, kind of point. I've got my crossbow. I'm not pointing it at, but I've got it in front. And I'm like, and I warned you about your comments.
And Tango's going to look at that and he's going to say, "Is this how you're going to allow another competitor for the mayor position be treated?" And he looks at C Bun and he says, "I think you put her up to this and you're trying to get rid of the competition." And Cinnamon Bun sighs deeply and he looks at you and he says, "Please put down your weapon. We can't be seen as trying to eliminate the competition."
I'm not. I'm trying to eliminate the person that's inciting everybody.
Phylla, just let him talk. It's fine. We know where we stand. We can't waver from that.
Wonderful. Mayor Bun just says, "I understand, and I agree with you that he has whipped everybody up much more than is necessary. But do remember that our town does have these feelings just below the surface of where they are. And they are there and still available, but we can show them that we're better, and we can try to show that these people are welcome in our town and mean no harm."
I mean, as much as I may not like Tango, I am lawful, so I am obviously going to listen to my mayor and do as he says.
Yeah.
So.
But your comments and feelings are on point, aren't they?
Just remember, it's like my mother always used to tell me, it's better to wait for the dough to rise than the flan to fall. We gotta stay positive.
So the two meat people have not really witnessed this transaction. This interaction between everybody. They're too busy looking around at the amazing town as two humans, two tall humans, probably in the 6-foot range, thin and built and used to hard work. Seeing an entire town made out of edibles and baked goods is pretty amazing. They're looking at the bread crust ground. They're looking at the fences made out of waffles, the cute little picket fences, the buildings made of crackers with frosted window panes and curtains made out of crepes. Everything looks really cute and really fun. They're making comments. "This is amazing. I can't believe a little town like this exists. I can't believe nobody's ever heard of it before." And they're just charmed by what they see, and that is not a bad thing, of course. So for the tour, you guys don't know the town as well as I do since I created it, but you'd probably want to take them to some of the esteemed members of town, to a couple of your great locations, and then maybe take them to the Bun Mansion afterwards. Sound about right?
Yep.
So then I would say that you'd probably take them to Sally Lunn, the local gossip, the old crusty wheat roll, who's a really sweet little old lady. Then Mr. Johnny Cakes, a famous favorite all over the world. Then afterwards, you would most likely take them to the park, the Strawberry Jam Lake. You would not take them to the ovens where everybody in town is baked. Everybody stays away from there because the ovens are very hot and they have a tendency to dry you out and make you go bad faster. It takes a long time for Bunburians to go bad, but it does happen. So does that sound like an okay itinerary, or is there anything that anybody absolutely wants to show them?
No, I was just kind of looking through your map a little bit more.
Take them to a special live screening of the favorite radio program, Wheat Wheat Don't Tell Me.
There's no radio right now, unfortunately, but Oz does get a radio eventually. But we'll start. You guys will take them through town, pointing out the various features of your city, how long everybody's had something, the infrastructure, how it's made, where it's baked, possibly say over at that side of town. Sally Lunn, the crusty old wheat bread, you meet her. She gossips a little bit about the soda biscuits who have just a little bit too much baking powder inside them, possibly, but she doesn't like to say that to everybody. Or Johnny Cake, the corn pancake. Johnny Cake, who's a great favorite all over the world, the kindly gentleman. He actually gives them a couple window panes made out of wafer cookie for them to eat. You're welcome to this as well. And then you guys take them to the Strawberry Jam Lake, which is a beautiful lake connected from the river on the left side of town, close to the butter mine, underneath the Bun Mansion. It has beautiful, clear, smooth, solidified strawberry jam with not a single seed in sight. It is red, just like the Quadling country's predominant color, sweet and a little sticky to swim in, probably. And then you're going to take them through then the park is to the right of that, which has those
Oleanders.
Oleanders, thank you. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember it. Which do have donuts in season on them. So you can recommend that they take some donuts down and they can swipe them in the jam lake and they can have themselves a delicious strawberry donut treat.
While we're doing that, I will, while we walk around, I'll start gathering the ingredients for my next tinner jam on the way.
Okay, so you're going to create a new instrument on the way?
And
okay, sure. All you need really to do that is flour and water, which you can get from a pump in somebody's backyard. There are pumps of milk and water in just about everybody's backyard for refreshment, including the Bun Mansion, so you can just take some from there if you want to. Okay. As you enter the grounds of the Bun Mansion, it is a 3-domed building made out of crackers. The main one has its own little door, and the guest room is off to the left. There's a main entrance there and a back entrance as well. Bun and Madeline usher everybody inside, and they say, this will be where you'll be spending the evening. We will entertain you for the evening. Please show us what you're willing to trade. And they pull out some dye sacks of really deep royal blue, and Perzo points at his skin to show that this is what dye does. So if you want to make blueberry muffins or blueberry bread, it'd be easy to do that by adding some to the mix. Parvis also comes to terms, and they eventually come to terms on an agreement for it, which leads straight into the evening. So now that it's the evening, everybody's getting ready to go to bed, probably. What do you guys want to do? So Topper, you want to guard them, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what do the other two want to do?
I'm going to watch over the discussion, but I'm honestly just going to keep out of it and just keep watch as well.
Okay. So you're not focused on the trade at all. You just let them kind of work out the trade amongst themselves.
Yeah, like I'm listening for anything that seems out of place, but otherwise I'm mostly just watching over the whole thing.
It is a regular conversation, and it does seem like something that merchants would come to an agreement with. As the mayor of the town and the local production of flour and butter and everything, who oversees it because it's the town production, then he'd be the one to speak to, of course, with it. So everything's on the level otherwise. So it does become evening, and they get ready to retire. They are brought out with big sandwich rolls that they are sliced in half and placed on cracker couches for them to sleep on, with little pillows made out of some kind of cookie or sandwich bread.
It's a meat sandwich.
What about beignets?
Beignets? Sure, yeah, beignets. That sounds delicious.
Nice little fluffy pillows.
As long as the powdered sugar doesn't go in them while they're sleeping and choke them. So they go to bed. Mayor Bunn comes out and he says, if you'd like to stand guard, please do it at the bottom of the hill so that nobody's disturbed from their sleep.
Sure.
And you head down to the bottom of the hill towards the main path to make sure that nobody intercepts them. And the others are going to sleep?
I will guard with Topper so the Topper doesn't stay up all night by himself.
Okay, so you're going to split the guard? Okay, excellent.
So I'll sleep when he's awake and then vice versa.
Okay, got it.
I was gonna ask Topper if he feels like he needs a third person or if he thinks that they've got it.
No. If you're feeling frosted, just go ahead and get your sleep. I've had enough excitement. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep at all tonight.
I don't blame you, but no, I feel fresh enough for this if you need. But that's why, if you think that you think you've got it, I'll at least try and get some rest for tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to be just as difficult as today.
You're probably right.
Yeah. All right. And I will actually head over to my own home, which I figured is going to be maybe just a couple doors down from Mrs. Popover's. Okay,
excellent. So you're across the way from Tango Creme then and nearby.
Unfortunately.
That's all right. I'd like
my catchphrase this time.
As you're getting ready for the evening, I'd like you to make a perception roll, and I'd like Topper to make a difficult perception roll as well.
Ooh.
14.
14. You notice that a couple people go into Tango's house at night, which is unusual because people are usually asleep at night and people aren't usually sneaking around at dark.
I got an 11.
You got an 11? You don't see anything happening on your watch. You're aimed at the main road and everything is calm and peaceful. The butter mine does run 24 hours a day, so there is a bit of a racket coming from that area as the Russian tea cakes and donut holes work very hard in the mining butter. Did you have something you wanted to do, Vance?
Oh, I was just going to rest while Topper is doing the watch, and I was going to swap with Topper.
Okay, so he does his watch uneventfully while the mine is making a bit of a racket and there's quite a bit of stuff going on. I'd like you to make a perception roll when you guys switch your rolls and he goes to bed, please.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a difficult perception roll.
13.
13. You don't hear anything coming from the direction of Bunn Mansion, but you actually do hear quite a clatter and ruckus happening at the butter mine.
More than the usual supposed to be sound?
Much more, yes. You actually hear some shouts and some angry outbursts, and you eventually, from your stance on top of the hill, you do see some people come rushing out of it.
I will have to wake up Topper.
Okay.
All right.
Topper,
yeah,
there's some trouble coming out of the mines.
There's some trouble down at the mines?
Yes, people rushing.
Are they coming this way?
Are they coming this way?
The people, they're coming out of the mine and they're immediately queuing up and they're starting to discuss what happened inside it. The donut holes are on one side, the tea cakes are on the other side.
Do you want me to go down there and find out what's going on and you stay here just in case, or do you want to go down and find out?
No, you're much more refreshed. You go ahead. If there's trouble down there, you'll probably be able to handle it better than me.
Gotcha. And I'll go check them down then.
This is early in the morning, by the way. Most of the night has passed. This is what you heard early in the morning.
Gotcha. So we did have a good rest, though, too?
Yeah, I would say you had a good rest. You each had at least 4 or 5 hours of sleep then, but this is like really early in the morning, like 5 a.m. The night passed, and eventually on your watch, you didn't hear anything anyway.
I'll go check it out.
It was a piece of lemon cake.
Piece of lemon cake, I love it. So you're going down to the mine. As you enter the mine, you see the donut fritter foreman. There we go. Frankie. He is angrily pointing and gesturing at people. You see the tea cakes are wrapping up butter that they've mined in pieces of paper and like margarine blocks. And you see the other side, the donut holes, quickly pulling butter out of the mine. You do see little sprinkles of jam on some of the wheels right now.
What happened?
He says, "Oh, somebody jammed the mine up last night. I don't know what they were thinking, but it's completely jammed down there."
Do you need help trying to get it emptied out?
Emptying it out? Well, the problem is plugging it more than anything. They've drilled directly into the Strawberry Jam River and flooded the main operating equipment down below.
What?
I don't know what this would accomplish, but somebody's completely halted operations and we're trying to rescue the rest of the butter as quickly as possible.
Oh, jeez. Then at this rate, what I will do is that I will go try to get some help, and then I'll come back and then try to get help for other people to help us fill up the jam.
Okay.
Jam the jam.
The jam. Okay. So you go and grab a couple extra people from the town. You wake them up. You go by and knock on doors. The flooding in the mine. It's jammed. You have to come help. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
You also have a ton of people or donut holes and tea cakes right there, and they are currently in the midst of trying to fix everything right now.
We can use a donut hole to stopper it.
So you don't really need to do that, but you can try and assist if you want to.
I will.
All right, so you go in and assist. You go down into the mine where they're currently trying to dig a hole to get it flooded in another direction. And everybody's angrily cursing whoever did this, and everybody seems to be pointing fingers at each other. The donut holes are pointing at the tea cakes, and the tea cakes are pointing at the donut holes.
I would also like to see if I can find any clues that may have who or what may have caused the hole.
Okay, so you are taken to the area where it's actually flooding, and they've actually managed to dig a deep enough hole to one of the older unused butter shafts, and it's starting to flood down that direction. So there's no immediate danger of anybody drowning from strawberry jam or anything. But the hole isn't that big. It looks like somebody's taking some kind of hand drill and literally drilled it up as fast as they could into the underside of the river, and they've managed to get just a little bit enough to pull it down and start flooding the area.
Gotcha.
I'd like you to make an investigation roll, please.
5.
A 5? Everybody's too busy rushing around and contaminating the scene, so you don't think you're going to get any information from it at the moment. You can try talking to people and see if you can find out who was the last person there.
I'll do that, but first I want to plug up the hole before it fills up, before it jams our butter.
Okay, what do you have to plug the hole?
I will look around for anything to plug it with.
Okay, currently there are breadstick buttresses and various types of mining equipment made out of crackers, breadsticks, and there's some other hard substance there as well. Some hardened dough that's been fried, like mining tools.
Then I will use those to try to create a temporary fix until we find something else that'd be more permanent.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check to fashion it all together with your tinker tools.
Gotcha. With my proficiency, it'd be +2, so it'd be a 10.
A 10? You managed to fashion together a big dough ball from what's around you using jam to soften up some flour nearby and some butter in the center to lubricate it, and you get it ready to insert, but you need some help to put it in the hole because the jam is still rushing in slowly as it pours in from the river.
I need some helping dough hands, please.
One of the donut holes comes rushing up to you and says, "Here, I'll help you. I got you, man." He
Thank you.
helps push it up, and now I want you to make a strength check, please. And he'll assist you so you can do it with advantage.
15.
15. You both successfully managed to get it into the hole. It is very much a temporary fix, but you've stopped the immediate crisis from happening. The donut hole helps you prop in some breadsticks to keep it in place and keep it from immediately falling back out. You have completely solved the issue at the moment of jam further getting in. They're going to have to pump everything out or use it or do something with it until the mine can restart, but you've solved the immediate problem.
You're saying they got to pump out the jam?
Right. Pump it out. Pump it out. Okay, so the donut hole says, "That was well done." He taps you on your shoulder, or what would be your shoulder if you were human shaped, but you're probably not because you're a big long bread loaf. He says, "I don't know why Crunchsky was in this area last night doing this, but those tea cakes, they're hard, they're difficult to work with, and they don't always know what they're doing and sometimes make mistakes."
So
and he walks off.
It was crunchy? It was crunchy, you said?
He said Crunchsky.
Oh, Crunchsky.
It's a Russian tea cake.
With that information, I will go back to Topper and let him know what happened.
Go ahead and tell him.
Topper, apparently some Crunchskys is what caused a hole and a whole bunch of jam inside of the butter mines, according to the donut hole.
Okay.
This doesn't sound weird to you at all because you're a bread person, and all of that made perfect sense.
So you fixed the mine for now?
Temporary fix. We need to get a more permanent situation, a more permanent way to get it fixed.
Tea cakes are working on a more
I'm sure the mine workers can do their job. I'm glad we were there for you to go and help them out, but yeah, while you were gone, there was nothing special happening here, so
that's good.
Just then, you hear a scream come from the manor, and you recognize it as the maid.
We share a surprised look and then spring into action, I suppose.
You rush in, and you see the maid screaming over the dead body of Parvis. He has been badly beaten and is laying in a pool of his blood with a congealed butter mass next to him as well.
Oh no! I'm gonna.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna get the maid's attention and tell her to go wake up Seabun Esquire. Vance, go and check on the other meat person.
I will.
There is no other meat person in the room.
Okay. They would be in the guest house, right?
They are. This is the guest house.
We're in the guest house. All right.
Yes. You went straight there, and you find him laying. It looks like there's been a struggle in the room.
Oh.
He's laying
so Farvo is gone.
Huh?
So Farvo is like disappeared.
Perzo has disappeared, and there's butter on the ground that's congealed into a sickening mass. As people that have butter for blood, that is gross, and you don't like it. It means that somebody Bunburian bled, and it was there long enough that it congealed into hardened butter.
Oh no!
You sent off the maid to go wake up Mayor Bun. He comes down and he's rubbing his head. He has a big dent in his head like this, and he says, "Oh, what happened,
Mr. Mayor? What happened to you?"
"I don't know. My head, it hurts so much. What's going on in here? Where's Madeline?"
"You should sit down, sir."
He sees the body on the ground. And he says, oh no. What has happened to the guests of Bunbury?" He sits heavily down on a couch looking devastated. "Where's my daughter? Where is she?"
It's early in the morning. Would she be in her room?
She should be. She was entertaining them before we went to bed last night.
I do want to say one thing. At the same time, that what with the mines also had a leak at the same time that this happened too.
A leak at the mine? How unusual. There's never been a stoppage at the mine. It runs all day, every day. What happened?
The mines got leaked with jam at the same time as this dead body.
Huh. Everything seems to be spinning, and he leans back and he falls backwards in a faint on the couch.
Vance, tend to the mayor. I'm gonna go check on his daughter.
Will do.
I'm gonna, as I go, I'm gonna like grab the maid and kind of drag her with me. And
she follows along willingly, and she says, "I don't know what's going on. Everything was so peaceful last night, but then again, I don't live here in the evening. Of course, I have my own spot in the second residential area outside of town. But what happened? What's going on? How could he be dead?"
So you were just showing up for work then?
Yes, yes. I used the servants' entrance in the back.
I see. Please show me where Miss Bunn stays, and we need to check on her.
Of course, she takes you through an ornately decorated residence in the mansion. We're talking shortbread piano, grand piano in the foyer. We've got beautiful, hard, shiny surfaced crackers on the ground. She leads you to a small room under the staircase, and it opens up into a beautiful, large, gorgeous young lady's room. Big 4-postered bread bed, vanity in the corner with no mirror, but it looks like it could have a mirror if such a thing existed in your town. It is not used, and it looks like it had not been slept in the night before.
She's not here.
I hope that butter wasn't hers on the ground.
Do you know where they were before you left for the night?
They were entertaining the two strangers in the evening, and they said I wasn't needed, and I went home in the evening by the servant's way.
Very well. We should go back and see if they've found anything.
Okay, so you guys head back to the main parlor and guest house where the murder took place. Vance, are you in there?
Yes,
Okay.
I was trying to help the mayor.
Trying to help him here? Okay, so you're patching him up and trying to fix the wound on his head that he received? Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a medicine roll with your tinker set.
6 plus 8. Sorry.
8. You haven't actually fixed him cosmetically, but he does seem to be coming around again. He wakes up and he says, "Where's Madeline? Where's Madeline? Where's the other gentleman who was here last night?"
Sir, I'm afraid we don't know. Your daughter's not in her room, and the other meat person is nowhere to be found.
The maid says, "I'm going to go check outside," and dashes outside to see if she can find anything. Well, where could they have gone? What happened here last night? All I remember is going to bed and sleeping peacefully. I'd like each of you to make an investigation of the room check, please.
I got a 3.
Okay, you don't notice anything besides the blood, and you're kind of freaked out by the butter blood that's congealed on the floor. And Vance, what did you get? A 5? Same thing. You're both grossed out by what's happening. Luckily, the maid has been saying, "Has anybody seen Madeline? Has anybody seen Madeline Bunn? Is she anywhere?" And she's been running through town creating an unholy racket.
Oh,
and
Lord.
Phylla, you've been woken up hearing the panicked words of the maid. And
I'm wondering, I'm like, am I awake yet?
You're awake now, yeah. You see what's going on.
All right, so I get out of my little house, and I see the maid running, and I'm like, what in the oven happened?
So there's been a murder! A murder! And when you hear that, you hear the door behind you on the other side of the street slam open, and you feel Tango step out of his house without turning around behind you, and he says, you hear him and you feel his finger pointing behind you. "I told you those people would be trouble."
I'm just gonna turn around and I'm like, get back in your house, you cretinous pile of dough.
"You, my dear, are not the law in town. There is no law. I'm going to go see for myself." And he starts marching up towards Fun Manor.
I'm going to walk faster than him. I might even go at a slight jog. I'm not running, but I'm like, No. This is not going on.
They're,
you both
they're gonna
start-
get into a speed walking
You
contest.
start speed walking on the crust against each other, each of you getting faster and faster as you walk across town, and trading insults back and forth about how you're not really the police force in the town and how he's going to fix you once he's mayor of town.
And how he's not really the mayor.
Yeah, not yet, my dear, but just you wait. You'll see the pastry will be turned over then, my dear. You'll be one pop over left. So you guys trade insults and make your way back up until you get to the town. And as you get to the door, you start elbowing each other, trying to get in faster and see who can get in the door faster from the front entrance.
Do we hear them yelling like that?
Oh, you hear them yelling you hear them swearing at each other all the way up the entire ramp. And then as they get to the door and they start bumping into each other and trying to force their way in first.
I was going to say,
up.
can I make a strength check to...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
All right, thanks.
I'll even make a strength check for Tango here. I think you'll do better than that. What'd you get?
6.
You got a 6? I'm sorry, he beats you in. He wrestles you out of the way, and he steps in proudly defiant.
Patrick?
Yes.
Before he does that, though, I did want to rush up to the door to keep everybody from coming inside.
Okay. So they've come up to the door, and he shoves her to the side and manages to get in first, and you block the way. He says, "Stand aside."
No, you're not the mayor.
So he
My dress is all ruffled, and I'm just flaking.
You're flaking with anger.
I'm flaking mad.
Your
petty fours are in a crumple.
So he just says, "Oh, very well. I'll just look around you. You're thin as a rail anyway." He looks past you, and he says, "I knew it. See, murder. Clearly, the other one and him got in a fight over who would eat Madeline Bun, and then they killed one another, and then the last one ate him, and then escaped."
Wait,
told you no good would happen.
How would you know something happened to someone if we didn't even say anything?
Look at the evidence in front of you. One dead body, one missing person.
How do you know someone's missing?
I don't see her anywhere in here.
This isn't her place.
The maid said that Madeline is missing outside.
I'm going to step forward and be like, now, hold on, everybody. Calm down. So far, all we know is that this poor man has been killed or has befallen some sort of horrible accident. His partner and Miss Bunn are both missing, and it would probably be in all of our best interest if we located both of them because, well, the meat people were our guests, and Miss Bunn is the mayor's daughter, and, well, she's a citizen as well, so we need to make sure she's safe and sound.
Mayor Bunn stands up and says, "I agree wholeheartedly. Get that cinnamon roll out of my house," and points at Tango.
And I'm just gladly.
Okay, so you're going to shove him out?
Yes.
He protested everything, but the mayor has spoken, and you quickly shove him out through the curses that he gives, and you slam the door in his face, which probably feels pretty good. He's still outside screaming and gesturing that people need to come see the murder. See what letting foreigners come into town will get you. And the mayor just says, and now he's going to try and turn the entire town against them. He puts his head in his little cinnamon clove hands and just...
As soon as we find Madeline, his words will crumble into little crumbs.
Oh,
that was terrible.
That was fine. I like
No,
that.
it was so terrible, but okay.
It was good. You did good. You guys are really nailing the puns, and I really appreciate it. I just want you to know you're adding a lot to the story overall. It's great. And it was good, Jamie. Don't worry. You did a good job. So the mayor just says, but what if he's right? What if it did happen that way? What if they did get in a fight over who would eat Madeline? One of them killed the other and then ate her and then fled.
So let's look at the evidence, though. We searched them. They had no weapons.
This is true. They had no weapons. But he was beaten to death with something, however.
Plus, there was also a distraction that happened at the mines at the exact same time.
A distraction at the mines at the same time.
Now, who did it distract, though? Other than the miners, you were the only one that went to go investigate.
I'm kind of out of the loop. Wait, what happened in the mines?
The mines leaked jam. It was forceful.
The mines got jammed?
Yes.
With what?
Jam. The strawberry jam.
From the river.
How?
It was drilled.
It was drilled?
Yes.
But by whom?
Crunchsky.
Did you find that person?
Not yet, because all this happened all at the same time almost.
Well, I think that our main focus should be the mayor's daughter, first of all. We need to make sure she's safe.
But if these are all happening simultaneously,
it doesn't
that's so much coincidence.
It is a coincidence, but we don't know if it's related or not. Bun strokes his fat where a chin would be, but is actually just below his mouth.
I was gonna say it's like where the where the actual pastry roll happens. So there's like a nice deep line of cinnamon sugar right there.
That's adorable. Yeah, I love it. We'll go with that. He strokes his cinnamon sugar line that makes a beard.
All right. Well, Vance, since you were already talking with the miners, would you be okay with seeing if you can figure out where Crunchsky would have gone, and then Topper and I can try and track where Madeline and the other meat person may have gone?
Sure.
We've got 3 people to find, and there's 3 of us.
And also, Phylla, it pops into your head that you did see somebody go into Tango's house last night as well.
And the thing is, I think I might know where to start.
And finally, you two didn't get very good investigation rolls. Phylla, you are seeing the crime scene for the first time. You do see, and it's as described before, a murdered man on the floor, beaten about the face and body with some hard, blunt instrument. Blood on the ground and that is leaked out of him with the congealed butter that is also most likely from a Bunburian citizen nearby.
I was going to say, and this would be our first time seeing actual blood, wouldn't it?
It would be, and you might think it's jam, perhaps, a very runny type of jam. You don't know what blood is, per se.
I mean, like, we've seen it from animals, I guess, with the...
Yeah, okay, then good point. You've seen it before.
But we've never really investigated. I definitely am not going to try it because it's still, in my mind, it's some form of blood. No. No.
Is that raspberry jam? No, don't do that.
Yeah, it's... No. But may I investigate where the bludgeoning areas are and see if I can see any crumbs or indication as to what kind of... Because for me, weapons are only bread.
Yeah, of course, and that's true. So go ahead and make an investigation check.
16.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so you do see that it looks like he's been hit with something long, hard, and flat several times and with extremely great force over various parts of his head and face, creating giant welts and making him barely visible. But as he does have his shirt on, as you did speak to him before, you do know that this is indeed the last remains of Parvis as well. You do find crumbs on the ground, and with your expertise of Bunburian architecture, living in town and everything, it does look familiar to you.
Okay.
You can't put your finger on it exactly, but it does kind of look familiar.
I'm going to look at Topper, and I'm like, hey, Topper, have you had your sword the whole time?
Yep. Down in the front of the manor there.
Please make another investigation check.
5.
5. You're not sure where to go from there, but the others, as you see her investigating closer, go ahead and make investigation checks as well.
I rolled a 19. My investigation was a 20.
Okay. 3? All right.
There's an Ian we know.
Vance is still grossed out by the blood and the margarine in the center that's congealed. Topper, after you hear her ask about the weapon, you put 2 and 2 together and you realize that she's trying to find the murder weapon and that it hasn't been seen. but something reminds you that the maid said there was a back entrance and that nobody's investigated it yet. And you do see little crumbs leading to the back of the room around a wafer like dressing screen into the back.
All right. I am going to just kind of follow the trail. I'm not going to say anything yet because there's nothing to say.
Yeah, there's nothing to announce.
I'm just going to, like, as I look around and go, and, like, start wandering towards where the trail's taking me.
You go behind the dresser screen and you find the back door. The back door looks like it's the handle on it has been jostled and removed off its little hinge that it's on. And somebody has moved their way into it. And as you go outside, you notice that there's a nice little porch area in the back with a cover and a roof with shingles on it down over the porch area. And several posts have been removed.
Several?
Yes, like 2 or 3.
Like removed.
Yes, like somebody just reached up and ripped them right off.
Phylla!
What?
You're gonna want to come look at this.
And I'm still a little bit shaken.
Yes.
But I go out and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It looks like it might have been several people who participated in this.
And who do we know can rally several people into a murderous mob?
It wasn't me! That was an accident! I didn't know.
Which did accidentally do at the beginning of the game, but that's okay.
No, Topper, that wasn't intentional. You were scared. Like, that's fair.
You're not talking about... Really?
Who else?
He is the most obvious suspect.
Maybe we should go have a talk.
Beyond that, I definitely need to go see some things. Do you want to see if you can keep doing the trail, or do you want to see if you can find anything at the house with me?
I'd rather follow the trail. Hopefully it'll lead me to Miss Bunn.
Fair. So you do that. I'm going to see Mr. Creme has any words for us.
Tom, for Topper's character, the trail does end at the posts that were ripped down. So they were ripped off and then taken inside, and that's where the trail comes from.
Got it.
I'm going to stay in this general area, like, searching while she goes to talk to... I guess. I mean, if I don't have enough... if I don't have any more trail, I'm going to try and see if I can find any.
Okay.
And we already have the idea of going back to see the orange guy.
Mr. Tango Creme.
Right. So
we'll start with Vance. What are you doing?
Well, I have no idea where they went. So,
but I do go to the back of the house.
Yeah.
We're just out the back door.
Gotcha. Then I will head out to the back door to see what happened.
Okay, so as you go back out, you come across Phylla, who is looking determined and ready to bust some buns, as it were.
Bust some crust.
Bust some cinnamon roll, orange roll crust, maybe.
Splatter some cream, man.
What happened? And why do you look like you're about to break a crust?
She's going to pop over some crepes. So bad. So bad.
So terrible.
That's the game. You're doing good.
No, I'm gonna look at Vance and like, I gotta go have some words with my favorite Bunburian.
Why?
I'm like, I don't even answer him after that. Like, I am storming out of this house. I'm so livid.
You don't have too far to go. As you go down the walkway from the mansion, you immediately see that Tango has drawn yet another crowd and is giving another fiery speech about the dangers of letting foreigners into town. Now there's been a murder for the first time in Bunbury's entire history. One young woman has lost her life, the poor daughter of my most bitter rival, the Mayor Bun, and one of the foreigners, one of the people, fought over her, ate her, and now has fled our town.
Shut your sugary gob.
He turns and looks at you and he says, "What are you doing?"
I am talking to you. And
I have
I'm
nothing to
like
say to
gesturing.
you.
Like, I'm not gesturing with my weapons. I'm gesturing with my hands.
He says, "I have nothing to say to you. I have to talk to the good people of Bunbury about the most recent threat to our town." And he turns,
That you have no evidence of.
"No evidence? It's clear what you can see up above."
No, you know nothing. Or if you did, then we have some more words to exchange now, don't we?
Okay, so when you say that, he turns and looks at you, and his eyes narrow, his clove eyes narrow. He says, "We have nothing to discuss."
Well, if we have nothing to discuss, then how do you know things?
"I don't know anything, and everybody..."
You're right, you don't know anything, so shut up!
What do you mean you don't know? You just said that she's dead. The crowd starts to crosstalk with each other and looks a little more confused now that you've interrupted his speech.
So pick one. Do you know anything or not?
I am merely stating the facts of what happened up there.
But how do you know what happened?
And Madeline was eaten. The evidence is there.
As I say this, I'm getting closer and closer until I'm like right in his face.
Okay. You gonna grab him and drag him away?
No, only because that's not actually what my character would do as much as I want to.
Oh, yeah. I like how committed you are to your character and to not escalating the situation. The crosstalk continues in the crowd as you state your case unknowingly to the crowd to show that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and they start dissipating, and he says, "Look what you've done.
Yes.
I had the town in the palm of my hand, and we were about to be safe. We were about to create a wall, and now I may even lose my mayorship. Oh, thanks to you." And he looks at you.
Can we go to one of the guys and I'll think more?
Certainly. You're engaged in a conversation with him, and it is fiery. You're accusing him of spouting off and saying things that he has no business saying for a political benefit, which is one of the lowest things somebody could do, using a tragedy to try and further his political gains. So you're giving him the business, and while that's going on, we'll go back to Topper, who is thoroughly investigated the area and seen that the trail, unfortunately, just leads from the banisters in the back into there, and you can safely say that that was probably the murder weapon, but without any conclusive proof, you don't really know for sure. And the murder weapon has not been found, so you've kind of reached dead end up at the mansion right now.
Well, Vance, it looks like I'm coming with you. We need to find this Crunchsky guy and see if this has any connection. I trust that Phylla is doing her thing. I feel sorry for that candidate, but let's go and see if we can find this. Let's go see if we can find this Crunchsky guy. Maybe check up on the mine and see how they're doing.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. However, though, were you able to find anything at all?
Other than what you see, no. I can't even find... They didn't leave the banisters behind, so we can't be sure that that's exactly what happened. I mean, it's a very good guess, but...
I could double check if you want me to. See if I can find anything.
You can look for a trail, but I don't see anything.
I would like to look for tracks specifically, using my survival.
You can do that. You can look for tracks. Go ahead.
15.
15? You do see dainty little tracks that probably belong to the maid on her way up to town.
There are little tracks that looks like the maid. You think those might be important, or should we just go look for Crunchsky?
No, she was the one that alerted all of us to what was going on. That scream, if she was the one that did it, then she's got multiple arms and superhuman strength, so I'm going to go ahead and rule her out for now.
Makes sense. Let's go look for Crunchsky.
So you guys leave Mr. Bunn with his maid as they both cry, and the body's just going to stay there for now while you guys try to investigate everything. He'll take a crepe out from the closet, and he will drape the crepe over like a corpse cloth to cover him up for dignity, which I think is kind of kind.
It's
you
a
guys
comforter crepe.
You guys are going to go right past Tango and Phylla having a very heated argument about the merits of using a tragedy for political gain. And both of them are in each other's face, pointing fingers and talking. But the crowd is completely dissipated by then because nobody wants to see a bickering fight between two people. You guys head down towards the mine, and you're going to flag down the foreman, the fritter foreman again.
The fritter foreman, I love it.
Yes.
Okay. He's a donut shape though, but he's a fritter. So you flag him down again. He says, "Yes. By the way, good job on plugging that hole, young bun. You did very well."
You're most welcome. Anytime there's a jam, I will always be there to jam it.
Huh. Very well done. We actually are making progress towards pumping out the jam from the mine. We have our best tea cakes on it right now. Was there something I could help you with?
Where is Crunchsky?
Crunchsky?
Yes.
That hard little tea cake with the bad attitude?
Correct. I heard that he's the one that made the hole.
Really? Where did you hear this? He looks at you suspiciously.
Do I see the donut hole? The donut hole?
No, they're probably down in the mine. You're at the entrance to the mine right now.
One of your donut holes, when I was trying to plug it up, told me about Crunchsky when they were trying to help me there.
Well, of course, as you know, donut holes and tea cakes are mortal enemies and only work together to further the mine, of course. But I would take what he says with a pinch of salt. So, especially Crunchsky, he has had much too salt baked into him. He's a very salty individual. But you can go speak to him. If you go down there, avoid the donut holes. They may say more than is strictly true in their regard for character. But if you talk to the tea cakes, they can point you to Crunchsky.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
So you guys are going to head down towards Crunchsky and do an interrogation with him and find out exactly what stopped the butter mine. And Phylla,
I am done with this jerk. I'm like, you know what? There is no use with this anymore. And I'm shoving past him to stomp down towards his house. And yeah, I'm like...
Investigation on what you saw in the evening. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to wheat up Crunchsky.
Okay. Well, then we will play the next time on the second part of our one-shot into a two-shot, I guess.
It happens.
And find out what mystery happened in Bunbury and who murdered Parvis and possibly Madeline. Thanks for listening.